At Scale by Metrics, my agency, we send well over 200,000 cold emails a month. We sent well over 2 million cold emails this year alone in 2024 for our clients. And we use Clay and AI to build some automations to get better reply rates and more booked meetings for our clients. And in this video, I'm going to show you how we're using a very specific personalization, the colleague personalization. So basically, you are referencing the name of someone else at the company and asking the person if they are the right person or if this other person is the right one to contact. And believe me, as stupid as it sounds, this is one of the best performing personalization I've ever used, more than any AI trick that you can use, more than any segmentation on job titles or industries, just because it is so odd, so different from where they used to. So right now in October 2024, this is something that works very well. I'm pretty sure it's going to get saturated in the next maybe 6 months. So get a good use of that. So right now we're on a table that I'm currently using to build a lead list for a campaign for one of our clients. I'm testing some personalization stuff. And let's say we want to find colleague names from these companies to reference it in our cold email. So the first thing you want to do is add an enrichment. So you want to find people that are working at this company. You have multiple tools to do so. I personally like to use Datagma. It's one of the tools that have the most up-to-date data and they have a lot of data. So you want to find employees at a company. We have our own API key for Datagma, so basically we are not going to be paying Clay credits to do this automation, but you can use both, either your API key from Datagma or Clay credits. Regarding the company search criteria, I like to use the website or the domain. Let's use the website. Job title you want to search for, I'm going to say that I want at least a director or head or something like this. I need to use commas, so I'd say director, head, VP, something like this. The reason why I'm not specifying anything else is because I don't want it to be too restrictive. I don't want it to say, hey, we haven't found any head of marketing, but they could have found maybe head of sales. So I just want someone high enough in the company so that the CEO, the founder, or the person we're targeting will know their name and recognize it when we send them an email. But at the same time, I don't care if it's actually like the head of marketing or something like this. Employee country, right now I'm targeting France, so I'm going to put France here. Run settings, remove this, continue to add field. Let's say I want as an output the complete name of the person because we're going to be using the full name variable. I want their job titles, so I make sure, okay, what's their role at that company, their LinkedIn URL. Yeah, I think that's enough. So let's click on save. Let's run this column. Let's give it a try. Let's say we want to run it on 30 rows just to see if it's going to work. The automation is running. As you can see, most of them don't have an employee found at the company, but let me show you an example of a company that has employees in Datagma database. So if you click on this cell, you can open up the different employees and you have 10 different employees, their name, their email, their company name, their LinkedIn URL, etc., etc. Right now, they're selecting the first one, but you could, if you want, open up the third one and use this as a column and call it, for example, colleague number 2, if you want to reference 2 colleagues instead of 1. You want to make sure, though, that this name, Daniel Sanchez, for example, here, is different from the name that is going to be output in this column. So you can, for example, use a formula to say, okay, let's say you want to make sure like this first name is different from that first name, or the full name is different from this full name. So we have first name and last name. So let's first get a full name for this, the first prospect, because we cannot compare first name to first name. We can have a lot of Michaels, but they're going to be different. So if we want to check for sure that the person we're reaching out to is different from the person that Datagma has found, we need their full name. So we can use, for example, a Clay formula saying from this first name and last name columns, output a full name column. You click on generate the formula. Output is correct. There you go, Daniel Sanchez, name. So now I'm going to use another formula, and I'm going to say if this new column is the same as name of employee, output 0. If it's different, output 1. Save the formula. There you go. So now what you want to do, for example, is you maybe would like to filter on this column, creating a filter saying, I want this colleague number 2 to not be empty. And then you'll have a list of all the rows where you have colleague names that have been found. Next thing you want to do is, for example, create a filter here and say, I only want the rows where name comparison is equal to 1, so that I'm sure that my automation is going to make sense, it's going to work, and if we reference this colleague name in our copy, it's not going to be the same as the person we're reaching out to. And there you go, you're done. The only thing you need to do now is, for example, change this variable name and call it colleague. And when you're going to export this file as a CSV, you're going to upload it in your favorite cold email software, Instantly, Smartly, Lemless, or whatever you're using, Outreach, and you're going to be using the colleague variable as a dynamic custom variable. And maybe you say something along the lines of, hi, first name, I don't know if you're the right person or if I should reach out to colleague about this, but anyways, we do X, Y, and Z, social proof, call to action, and this will drastically improve your campaign's performances without changing your targeting, without changing your scripts like crazy, just by adding this small workflow that actually took me like 6 or 7 minutes to do. Of course, we only done it on like 10 rows, but it's the same. Instead of running it on 10 rows, you could have run it on all the 14,000 rows here, run this column as well, and run this column, and go grab coffee, come back in 10 minutes, and you'll have your table ready for the outreach. If you like this video, if you think this is helpful, please let me know in the comments what kind of automations, what kind of things you'd like me to show you in this channel, because we're using Clay every single day at the agency and we're doing some pretty crazy stuff with it. And I think we can help a lot of people to learn how to use AI and how to use these automations to create more effective outbound cold email campaigns. And of course, if you want to get help, if you're either learning, setting up these systems, or delegating your prospecting and your outreach process to a company that does that for a living for dozens of clients and sends hundreds of thousands of cold emails a month, you have my Calendly link in the description. We'll be more than happy to discuss this with you. Have a great day. See you soon.